Okay, well, hello, welcome. My name is Courtney, and I am a social worker. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself to start the session off?
My name is Michaela. I am a university student. I went to school, wasn't really liking what I was doing, so I just kind of left after a semester and I just started working. But now I'm back in school, which is really stressful during all of this. Um, yeah.
Okay. And what brings you in to see me today?
Um, I've just been having some kind of conflict with my husband.
Okay.
He lost his job. Um, I think it's about 8 months ago. Um, so that's kind of really been taking its toll on our relationship.
Okay, so we'll talk more about that. Before we get into it, I do want to speak to you about just some confidentiality pieces. Everything that we talk about here today is going to stay between you and I for the most part, but there are a couple exceptions to that. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of them. If you're telling me that you feel like you're going to hurt yourself or others, or there seems to be a child who's in danger, or if the court asks to see my notes, then obviously I will be talking about our session, but outside of those instances, everything that we talk about is going to be just between you and I. Is that all right?
Yep, makes sense. Sounds good.
Okay, so let's go back to talking about your husband. You said he lost his job about 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, he was working. He had a pretty good job. He was working um kind of with like finances, not really an accountant, but not um and he was working with a bigger company. And it was a well-paying job. It definitely supported both of us. My income was kind of just like supplementary. Um and he lost that job. And we had a good amount of savings, but we're going through that pretty quick. And I only work as a cashier, so I'm not making a lot of money. So it's definitely pretty stressful,
Yeah.
um, being the sole earner in our family right now.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of stress. And you said you're a student as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's a lot on your plate right now.
it definitely is. It's a lot. And there's just some days where it gets very overwhelming.
Yeah, I can imagine. It sounds like you're really dealing with a lot right now. What it sorry, what is it that you were looking to gain from our session today, do you think?
Um, I think just kind of ways that I could deal with those feelings of being overwhelmed
Mhm.
and potentially um, talking to my husband, maybe in a more constructive way,
Mhm.
to kind of not necessarily push him, but kind of get him thinking about putting in a little more effort, I guess, into finding a job, applying to jobs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Have you spoken to your husband about this before? The stress that you're under and how you're feeling?
Um, I've kind of brought it up, um, but I don't want to put more additional stress on him. Um, I, I, he's pretty. I don't want to say um I don't want to say angry about not having a job. I would say he's more frustrated. Um, so I feel kind of like putting my burden, my stress on him would kind of add to that frustration, and it would make him stress out even more that he is struggling to find another job.
Mhm. I see. Okay. Do you and your husband spend a lot of time together at the moment?
Um, we're trying. to, but it's really difficult with my schedule. I'm either doing schoolwork or I'm at work. I kind of devote any free time that I can to working, just so we're not dwindling away our savings as fast.
Mhm. Okay, I can definitely see how that can be very stressful. Do you do anything to help yourself unwind and kind of chill out and relax when you're not at work or
Um,
school?
I've been trying to kind of, take time for myself, read a book, but just it seems like all that quiet time while it's sitting is just like it's easy for me to get distracted from the like just reading,
Mhm.
um, and just go back to being focused and thinking about everything that's going on.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you were interested, then we could maybe talk about some other things that you could do when you have some free time that won't be so easy to become distracted from. Some things that you can do to help um, kind of take yourself out of the stress of your life for a minute and calm down because being under that much stress all the time and not having an outlet can definitely weigh very heavy.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you like to do? Like, do you have any hobbies that you could maybe get back into and devote a little bit more time to?
Um, I used to hike. Um, it was nice just kind of being outside,
Mhm.
fresh air, but there's not really a lot of time for that anymore. Um, so yeah, like kind of everything I used to do has kind of just disappeared and it's just school and work.
Yeah. I would wonder if maybe it would be possible for you to look ahead in your schedule a little bit and see if there's maybe a chance that you can block off a little bit of time to devote to going on a small hike and, maybe bring your husband along. Are there other people in your life who support you right now?
I have a couple of friends. My mom, for sure, she's a big support.
Good.
Um, yeah,
Okay. And do you think that your mom or any of your friends would be willing to take an hour maybe sometime soon and go on a hike with you and take a little bit of a break?
I could probably convince them to do that for sure. Yeah.
Good, okay. I think that that's definitely a good starting point. Um, Exercise obviously is gonna help you unwind too, so you'll be able to feel a little bit better, get those endorphins going. Do you have any specific goals in mind right now?
Um, I think one of my biggest goals would just be kind of figuring out an effective way to talk to my husband and support him in getting back to work. Because I
Mhm.
definitely think achieving that goal will help um, definitely relieve those feelings of stress and anxiety and worry,
Mhm.
for sure.
Okay, okay. I definitely think that there are some things that we can do and try out that'll help get a little bit closer. Do you ever look for jobs with your husband? Help him out in that sense or no?
Um, I have a couple times I've kind of said, "Hey, I saw this job today. Looks interesting. It looks like something that you'd be interested in, or
Mhm.
like you have the qualifications for." Um, and he kind of took that as me insinuating, I guess, that he's not competent enough to look for his own job. He's not
Mhm.
capable. Um, that he doesn't want to work. So he kind of took it in more of a negative way when
I see.
it was more intended it was just intended to be a positive, supportive,
Yeah.
thing, and he didn't see it that way, so I haven't really helped him since.
Mhm. Okay. How did that make you feel when he reacted that way when you tried to come to him with possible jobs that you thought he might be interested in?
It was definitely upsetting, for sure. Normally, he's quite open, he's quite willing to help and suggestions, even if they're not necessarily what he's looking for or something that he would follow through with.
Mhm,
Um, he's usually pretty willing to accept help or suggestions from anyone. So it was quite surprising, just seeing his reaction to it.
mhm.
Um, yeah.
Okay, and how did you react afterward? How did you react to the situation? What did you do after?
Um, I kind of just said okay. Like I was so surprised. Like I guess I was kind of like in shock too. And I just kind of said okay. And I kind of just walked away because I really wasn't quite sure what to do or what the appropriate kind of
Yeah.
react. Like I really didn't know what to do or what to say.
Mhm. Yeah, well, it's clear that you're under a lot of stress, and it doesn't seem like you are having tons of time to take a break from that stress and unwind. Is that fair to say?
And yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your stress levels are like right now?
Um, I would say about a 6 or a 7.
Okay. And do you think that that's usually about where you're at, or is it usually a little bit better, a little bit worse?
I would say that seems about to be average for sure.
Okay, it's definitely hard to always be, a 6 or a 7 with your stress levels. When was the last time that you felt that you were lower down on that scale, closer to a 1 or a 2 or no stress at all?
I would definitely say, about 8 months ago, when my husband was still working,
Mhm.
there was that financial security in place, and I didn't have to work as much, and I
Yeah.
could just kind of focus on school, and that was really my only focus and my only worry. I definitely was at a lower end, for sure.
Okay, okay. Is there anything that you think that, you could do, just small things in your life to bring that number down?
Um, I think that there definitely is,
Okay.
um, maybe figuring out a schedule for schoolwork so
Mhm.
that I'm not so overwhelmed and feeling like I have to do everything at once. That
Yeah,
might
I think that that's a really great idea, and maybe that can be a little bit of homework for the next session, trying to find a minute, maybe just some night after you get home from work or on your lunch break where you can sit down and schedule out what you're gonna do when and make sure that you're going to be able to allot time for your schoolwork around your job, and maybe that way you'll have a little bit more time to take a breath and stay calm around your husband, and I think it would, make things a little bit easier for you if you were able to schedule it.
I think so too, yeah.
Okay, good. So definitely try to do that, for the next session, but if you don't get a chance, then maybe what we'll work on next time is going through that schedule and creating it together so we can give it a go and see how it makes you feel.
Sounds good.
Good. So I want to, if it's okay with you, do a little bit of a thought exercise with you.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and we're just going to talk about it a little bit. Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I want you to suppose that you go to bed tonight, and while the house is dark, a miracle occurs. You're asleep, so you don't know that a miracle has occurred, but all of these problems that you're having are gone. There's the problems are solved. When you wake up in the morning, what would be the first sign to you that the miracle had occurred and your problems were gone?
I think the first indicator would be I would be woken up by my husband's alarm.
Mhm,
Um, he is he was very routine oriented. He was up
mhm,
by like 5:30 every morning. That's when his alarm would go off. So that would definitely be like my first indication that something has changed.
okay, and how do you think that would make you feel first thing in the morning hearing his alarm go off?
Well, it would make me feel annoyed as I usually was because it was
Mhm.
5:30 in the morning. I normally would get an extra hour of sleep.
Yeah.
But I think I would be relieved.
Mhm.
Like everything's gone. I don't have to worry anymore. It's not all on me.
Yeah, okay, walk me through what the rest of that morning would look like.
Um, both of us getting up. He would shower. Um, I would normally make breakfast for us
Mhm.
because I didn't have to get out of the house as soon as he did. I make breakfast for both of us. We would have breakfast together. We would have coffee. He would go off to work. I would do a little bit of schoolwork before I had to go to work. Yeah, that would be our morning.
Okay, and, do you think that there's anything you can do, maybe something we've already spoken about here that could get you a little bit closer to this miracle?
Um, Maybe like just trying to get back into that routine. Maybe not necessarily setting an alarm for so
Mhm,
early in the
yeah,
morning.
definitely don't
Um,
need to be getting up that early yet.
Definitely do not. Um, but maybe just like me making breakfast and us having it together, having our coffee together, just kind of
Mhm.
getting back into that part of a routine, I
Yeah,
think would be helpful.
I think that that sounds like it could be really good for you. I'm sure that, spending a little bit of extra time with, not just your, significant other, but all of the people that you love, obviously is gonna make you feel better, and, if you're working on, making a schedule for schoolwork and when you're going to be at your job, then maybe that's a good opportunity to talk to your husband and say, like, "Maybe we could do mornings together again."
Mhm.
And, just see how it makes both of you feel and open that up a little bit more.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Good, good, I'm glad. Is there anything else that, you wanna talk about today?
I think I'm good. That definitely was very helpful today.
Okay, great. So, just to recap, when we meet again, we are going to talk a little bit more about how your stress levels have been, working on a schedule, and how we can help make life just a little bit easier for you and work on some of those stressful feelings.
Yeah, I like the sound of that for sure.
Okay, awesome. It was great meeting you, Michaela.
You as well.